Hi folks, this is Sue Bell from Network Empire and ThemeZoom.com. We're in the middle of doing this process where we're creating a website for Nashville SEO. We're taking a local company and we're creating a website for that local business. So we've done Pain Finder, we've got the products, we've got the pains behind the products, and we've done some keyword research, and we grabbed the keyword lists, and we made we smashed the name together with a keyword so that we've got a local keyword, and we've imported those into TLKT, and now we want to go take a look and find what these local keywords look like, right? We're ready to export the local keyword lists. So I want to change my filter for this, and my filter at this point, you know what, just a second. Alright, I want to make sure I keep that filter and give it to you guys, so I just saved that off. So my filter that I want to have now, I want to look for keywords that were imported. So I'm going to come down here and find this keyword was imported. Now this is just a true-false kind of a thing, and so we're just going to say keyword was imported. That's going to give us the list of keywords that were imported. And now when I come down here, I've got the list of keywords that were imported. You can see they're all the Nashville terms that I imported here, except for the panda penalty, which I imported the other day on a webinar. Alright, so now I'm going to save this off in a list. Save that file. It's going to save off to my inbox there, and I'm going to come over here to the next one, and we did online marketing for the next one. And remember, it's going to keep my filter for me, so automatically I've got just the Nashville terms. Now, this is interesting in that it's got Nashville on the front side and Nashville on the back side, so it's actually a longer list. Oh, hey, that's one other thing I wanted to point out to you. As I said before, when we get this keyword list back, it's going to have very few searches, right? I'm impressed that searches show up at all, and it's got no cost and no traffic, no paid traffic. So it is actually registering a few searches on the Richter scale, and as you can see, a lot of these that are registering searches are registering right around a search a day. We've got SEO Made Simple. Why did that? I must have imported that one. Oh yes, I imported the title. Oh dang. Alright, we'll delete that later. Anyway, most of these are importing at right around a search a day, or registering right around a search a day. So that's why we set that threshold up for around a minimum of 100 a day on a national level. And I'm sure, I don't know, probably these things that have 0 in there, all of these numbers are probably actually much higher than they appear to be here. That would be my guess. Alright, so I exported that. We're looking at these. These are also, now there's one that somebody's bidding on. Nashville Digital Marketing. That's an interesting term to bid on. Another one that's somebody, Internet Marketing Nashville. Another one that somebody's bidding on. So, it's interesting to me that somebody would bid 56 bucks a day on it. I don't think it would be that hard to rank for it, especially if they're an internet marketing company, but hey. Alright, so I'm going to export this list too. And I have to admit, between videos, I did not go do the other 3 silos yet, so I'll come back and pick those up in a minute. But first, we're going to start our project in Domain Web Studio. So I'm going to come over here and log in. I've got the Pro version of Network Empire Builder. I think I just called it Domain Web Studio. Dang, I'm trying to not do that anymore. Network Empire Builder. And just a second. Alright, so let's create a new empire for this. And this is going to be Nashville SEO Domination. Yay! Dominate the Nashville SEO scene. Create that bad boy. And I'm going to come here to my site. I'm going to add a new site. My project name is Nashville SEO. My site is, I believe, NashvilleSEO.com. And my target keyword is, again, Nashville SEO. Alright, Google, US, I don't know the answers to these right at the moment. I'll come back and figure that out in a minute. backlink unit costs, content costs. I'm going to take the defaults there. Traffic conversion on a local level if I'm ranked. You know what? I expect the click-throughs from the search engine screen to my site to be pretty high, because I'm going to have Russell help me with that so that it's the most intriguing thing imaginable. And then my website conversion traffic. In other words, once the traffic actually gets onto my website, how much of that is actually going to convert? Well, my prices are pretty high. So, like, normally I would say, you know, if you're going to land on my website, I'm going to convert you. But because those prices are so high and they're looking for like a really pretty small market, like, let me just remind you here. Did we actually look at that all the way back at the beginning? Like, let's just come back here for a second. Like, the consulting base pack is $2K a month, right? Consulting competitive market pack, $11K a month. You're not going to find a lot of takers in the Nashville area for like those have got to be some big businesses. So this is not little mom and pop stuff. So even so, I think I'm going to get a lot of people on my site. My conversion is probably going to be pretty small. So I'm going to say 0.5. And it's not an affiliate product, so I don't have to worry about that. Now, my average profit per sale here is going to be pretty healthy. If they come into this consulting base pack on a monthly basis, they're probably going to be with me for at least 6 months. And let's say that let's say by the time I pay everybody and I pay my outsourcers and I do all the stuff that I got to do, that I only net like 25% of that. So that's like $500 a month. I actually get a stick in my pocket in terms of profit for my business. But my average, people usually consult with me for an average of 6 months. So that's 500 times 6. That's going to be like $3,000 is going to be my my net there. $3,000 there, and these are probably going to be a little bit higher. I would say that $3,000 is probably my minimum. Web design, you pay a lot when you do somebody's web design. There's a lot of outsourcing fees there. So, you know, I'm just going to say that probably 3K. It's probably going to be what I sell the most of, and that's probably going to be my average mean. My budget's pretty obnoxious, so I'm gonna say I got a 10K budget, and my financial monthly goal. In other words, how many of these do I actually want to sell? How many $2,000 packages do I want to sell in a month? As I said, that's probably going to be a pretty easy thing to sell compared to everything else that's out there. So I want to sell. If I sold, you know, I could probably handle, I'm just thinking like how much like one person could do, right? So like if you're doing one of these, you can probably easily handle 4 clients in a week, 4 weeks in a month, so that's like 16. So let's say that I'm doing 16 of these. So my total financial goal is going to be 16 times 3. So let's say 50K. It's slightly off the screen there, but 16 times 3 was 48. So let's just say that my total financial goal is 50K. So that's a couple more zeros there. All right, so the number of sales I need per month is going to be 17. Visitors required to create the sale is going to be 200. And so then this is figuring out all of the numbers that I need for like my searches, okay? And I don't put my competition in here. All right, so I'm going to create my site profile. And now I'm going to import my keywords. So I'm importing these from TLKT. I'm going to browse to find them. Hang on just a sec, I got to find it. Okay, so I'm starting with SEO, and I'm importing that bad boy. It's 2 because this is the one that's got the Nashvilles on it. And wow, nothing actually meets my business rules. So I'm going to take this off and just see what's behind the scenes. So you can see here nothing actually met my business rules. I would actually make an ROI here, but for one reason or another, nothing actually meets my business rules. Let's just dig into this a little bit further and see why. Well, actually, I can tell you why. It's because there's no searches on any of these terms, right? I have to actually have conversions in order for the keyword to actually make me money, right? So if I look at this, primary landing page conversions, 0 actions taken. Redirection, no, zero actions taken. Like that's the whole thing. Nobody's going to get on my list. Nobody's going to actually convert. That's the whole thing behind this, because it says that there are very few searches here, even though this multiplies it out by 30, right? It's just saying that there's just not a whole bunch of traffic here. And this, there weren't even like a percentage that it could, when it multiplied it by 30, it even got it up over 1. So I know that this is like really conservative in terms of searches. So what I might do to just make this fly a little bit better is come back here to my business rules and say, you know what, I know the numbers of searches are actually going to be higher. So this means if I fudge this figure a little bit, like let's put this back to 1, so that I'm going to say that my conversions are actually higher than they really would be, and that's going to like compensate for the fact that my traffic is reported as lower than it really is. And let's just see if that doesn't flip. That still doesn't flip any flags. Let's see how far we got to go to get a green flag, right? So that's already twice as much as I think. Let's put this up to 2 maybe. So this is a 2% conversion rate, and no, let's try something rad like 10 and see if that's, I'm sure 10 is going to get me something. And the answer is, yeah, so 10 finally starts to get me some keywords. So I don't actually have to go through that. I don't actually have to get a green flag to know what my best possible scenarios are. Because I don't know if you noticed, but like this actually didn't change the order of these keywords. The order of the keywords is going to stay the same. The most profitable keywords are going to float to the top, whether they meet your business rules or not. But if it makes you feel better, like the thing that's interesting to me is that I know that I've got like a 20%. I started off with 0.5%. And I'm now at 10%, and it took that much in order to flip these few flags green. So I'm looking at needing basically 20% more traffic than 20 times more traffic, I should say, than what's being recorded here in order to make these keywords worthwhile, at least for the way that I scoped out my business rules, right? So there's a couple of things that I can do here. I can put my prices down, which is going to make my market bigger, right? More people are going to buy my products if my prices are cheaper, and so then my conversion percentages would go up. You know, that might be the only other thing that I could really do. And obviously, if that happens, if I'm bringing my prices down, then my profit per sale is also going to come down. So it's a fine line that I have to walk. The other thing that I could do is I could say that my financial goal, let's just take my financial goal and cut that in half for a minute. Say that I'm happy with making 25K off of this business. I don't need as many as I thought I was going to. That still doesn't change this too much. It gives me a few more green dollar bills over here, but it's not passing all of my filters. So if I really want to go after this big a market in Nashville, it's decidedly possible that there's not actually the traffic in Nashville to support it. And that was where I was saying, you know, this isn't a metropolitan area. If you were in LA, if you were in New York, if you were in Chicago, then you would probably stand a better chance, where there are lots of large businesses, you would stand a better chance of being able to sustain a local business with those kinds of prices. So that's what these tools are designed to tell you, right? Like, is this, you can see going in, you can see with the forecasting going in, is this even a viable possibility? Am I going to make enough money for this to be worth going down this path? And we've had certification students who have had their eyes opened that the market that they thought they wanted to go into was not the market that they wanted to go into, because there's just not enough money there. There's just not enough traffic and money to support those ideas, and some of those were national concepts as well as local concepts. Okay, so with all of that having been said, and we know that this is possibly not the most viable marketing opportunity in the world, let's just sally forward and make the best make the best possible website that we can out of this. All right, so SEO Made Simple, that's not really what we're looking for. That's the name of the book that I threw in there as an import. So Nashville SEO Company. Panda Penalty is also not Nashville oriented. Nashville Search Engine Optimization and Nashville SEO Company. Now these two things are synonymous in my head, right? So based off of this, we've got like twice the searches roughly for SEO Company as we do for Search Engine Optimization. So let's go with this as being my silo. All right, I clicked on that, I've got that up at the top. I'm going to move this to the blueprint. And Nashville SEO Company, so let's just come back over here for a second. We're looking at, like, we're basically in this silo. I'm looking for SEO consulting kind of concepts. So I want to make sure that I don't deviate off into possibly concepts that are in some of these other areas. So based under this, we've got Nashville. Let's just come up here, click on SEO Company, and let's talk about the things that this SEO company is gonna provide. I don't want to talk about reputation management. I don't want to talk about tools. Those are other silos. Search engine marketing, that's okay. We can do search engine marketing. We don't have that as a separate silo. Or is it, I mean, there isn't any reason why I can't talk about more than one product under, that I can't talk about a single product under more than one silo. I definitely could do that. It just kind of depends on how I want to set it up. But what I was kind of thinking, like the way that I was sort of constructing this in my head as I was going on, was that I was going to try and hit these sorts of concepts all under SEO, these kinds of concepts all under marketing. Just like, we'll just see if the keywords work well that way, and if they don't, we'll back up and do it a different way. All right, so that's just where I don't want you guys to think that this is all like cut and dried, that there's one way to do this that is the absolute best way. If I knew more about the kinds of products that were really going to be offered, I could get into this a little bit more granularly. I'm flying a little bit by the seat of my pants, which is why it's, we'll just have to see. But there's always a little bit of, okay, I've got the keywords on the table, now what am I going to do with them? There's always a moment there where you're analyzing the keywords and how they fit together and how you want to tell the story, because that's basically what you're doing on a website. You're telling the story. You're telling the story of the business and how that business can help the potential customer or client solve their problems. So, okay, with that in mind, let's just let's grab a few more keywords and stick them here under Nashville SEO Company. We've got Nashville Search Engine Marketing. Social media we're going to do differently. Online marketing, SEO services. Actually, online marketing is a different thing, so I'm going to unclick that. SEO services, internet marketing, web design was a different concept. Search engine optimization. And I might bring this Panda Penalty in here, even so it's not Nashville oriented. All right, so search engine marketing, SEO services, search engine optimization. This is the idea of, it's like pay-per-click, right? Search engine marketing as opposed to search engine optimization, which is natural traffic, and Panda Penalty. And if this is SEO consulting, search engine optimization consulting, online marketing, I'm kind of stretching that that pay-per-click concept into here a little bit with the which one was it? SEO services, search engine marketing, online marketing. Maybe I don't want to go down this path. Let's do SEO tools instead. Oh, was SEO tools, was that a separate thing? No. Tools. Tools were here. 2 tools. All right. Let's do that. Let's take those 4 ideas for right now and put those under SEO. I'm going to move those to my blueprint. And that's basically my first silo. All right. I've got my first silo right there. And so we'll come back in the next video and we'll do the next silo.